Hello, I'm back with another Millay poem. This one is a sonnet, one of the most popular lyric forms, and it's what's known as a fixed form because it never changes. Every one of these lines, well, there may be exceptions, but almost every one of these lines will have 10 syllables, and they're made up of iambic pentameter, which simply means that I am, which equals I am, equals one unstressed followed by one stressed syllable. Like in the name Denise. You hear how the stress is on niece? There you go. That's iambic. And what iambic pentameter means is that there are 5 iambs per line. Now that's most of the time there's 5 iambs per line. We'll see some lines that break from that, and that's because the writer's trying to emphasize something about that. So let's take a look. So one thing about the sonnet is that it has iambic pentameter, right? It also has a specific rhyme scheme, as we can see here. A, B, A, B. C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. Now this is particular of the Shakespearean sonnet, but we won't worry about the Petrarchan sonnet or the Italian sonnet for now. This is modeled after the Shakespearean sonnet. So Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets. All of them looked something like this, and we'll see what that means. So there's 5 iambs per line, which means there are 10 syllables. Also, we might note that means there's 14 lines in every sonnet. You could tell that by the rhyme scheme. So 14 lines. And there's particular things that are supposed to go on in each line. So this starts with the premise. Love is not all. That's the premise. So I'll just read through the poem and then we'll go through it quickly and take a look at some of these sonnet conventions. Love is not all. It is not meat, nor drink, nor slumber, nor a roof against the rain, nor yet a floating spar to men that sink, and rise and sink, and rise and sink again. Love cannot fill the thickened lung with breath, nor clean the blood, nor set the fractured bone. Yet many a man is making friends with death, even as I speak, for lack of love alone. It may well be that in a difficult hour, pinned down by pain and moaning for release, or nagged by want, by past resolution's power, I might be driven to sell your love for peace, or trade the memory of this night for food. It may well be. I do not think I would. Okay, so here we have, we could think of this basically broken up into 4-line quatrains shown by the rhyme scheme, right? A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and G, G. And let's see what's in each of these. So the first one talks about what love isn't do, what it can't do. It can't sustain us, right? It's not food, it's not drink, it's not sleep, it's not shelter. It goes right through on those first 4 lines, right? It's not a floating spar to men that sink and rise and sink and rise and sink again. In fact, love can make us rise and sink and rise and sink again, right? So it can't be that floating spar. A spar is like a mast piece of wood that someone could cling to while they're out in the ocean alone, defenseless. Okay, so love can't do that for us, right? That's the first premise of this sonnet. Now it tells us more. Love cannot fill the thickened lung with breath. It's not the air. It can't clean the blood, nor set the fractured bone. Okay, so these 2 lines say that they're not healers. They cannot heal us. They can't sustain us. They can't save us. They can't heal us, right? So those are the first 6 lines so far. Love can't, right? Yet many a man is making friends with death, even as I speak, for lack of love alone. Okay, well now something's changed, right? However, even though love isn't all, the lack of it can somehow kill us, or it can make us want to die, right? Make us friends with death. So that's where this poem starts to change. The biggest change, though, is at the end. So now we have another quatrain, right? And it says, and it adds another premise. It well may be that in a difficult hour, pinned down by pain and moaning for release, or nagged by want, past resolution's power, I might be driven to sell your love for peace. Okay, so what does this say? Perhaps, love is in existence. It's not. So if I'm forced, I may be driven to sell your love for peace, as it says, to save my life, or trade the memory of this night for food. See, now here we're into the next quatrain, or trade the memory of this night for food, and we're given a sort of revelation here. Now we're told that this is in a specific time or place. This is a certain night where the act of intense emotional love has been going on. To trade the memory of this night for food, it well may be. I do not think I would. So now we're given the whole. This turns around, and what the turnaround where the turnaround happens is in those last two lines, and that's called the volta. So when a sonnet turns on itself and contradicts all of its previous statements, or somehow turns them into ironic statements, that's called the volta, where that change occurs. So first we're told, wow, this is happening this night. It's not just a meditation on love out of time or space, right? We're given a specific time or space, and then we're told, even though love can't save us, can't change us, can't sustain us, it's worth more than all of those things. Driven to the farthest extent of want, pain, right? The speaker still will not trade the memory of the night. So even in the highest, even among the highest forms of desperation, the love is still more valuable to this speaker than any sort of material need, right? So